Good morning, welcome to sunny Lorne. It's actually a beautiful morning down here on the Lorne beach, just next to the Lifesaving Club. And I just wanted to jump on, do a little bit of a video this morning after yesterday's MisAdventure, and just have a little bit of chat about things and what actually happened to us. So yesterday for us was moving day, and we were moving from our off-grid camp down to Marengo, down to the caravan park there, and we're going to be there for a few days. It was time to check into a van park to do some washing, recharging, and have decent Wi-Fi, because we did have a few business things that we need to still take care of. So we're on the move, driving along the Great Ocean Road, around the bends and twists and turns. Beautiful road to drive on, absolutely loving this trip so far. And at one point there, I actually started to hear a little bit of a sound, and it was a sound I'd never actually heard before. And it was a little bit soft. It was just a little whoop, 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 whoop type sound, just enough to grab my attention. And thankfully, I do know the car, I do know the van fairly well after doing a few trips and a lot of kilometres in the Hilux. And it was just enough to pique my attention. And as we're going around the bends, I started to look around the car, look around the van, look in the mirrors. And at first everything was looking okay. And then as I've gone around a left-hand bend, I just noticed a very slight wobble. Very slight in the left-hand tyre on the van. And as we've gone around the next bend to the right, I've had a look at the right wheel to compare it, and the right wheel was tracking dead square, beautiful the way it had a whole trip. So slowing down, not hitting the brakes, just letting the car slow up, nice, gentle and easy. Thankfully there was nobody behind us, no traffic around us, and I was able to just let the car and the van glide into the next breakdown bay. And because of the nature of the road, there's a lot of pull-off areas and pull-in spots for slow vehicles and breakdown bays and viewing platforms and the likes. So it wasn't that far. I pulled in, parked it, got out, walked around, had a look, and noticed the 3 studs missing. And they'd actually sheared right off. So from there on, it was just, well, that's it, we're not going any further. I'm no mechanic, but I do have a little bit of mechanical knowledge and experience, and enough to realise that 3 missing studs that's it, that's enough. So that's basically what happened yesterday, and as you saw in the photos and the videos, the caravan's been towed away. But there's a lot behind the scenes as well, which is, I want to do a little bit of a shout out, which is not overly common. Thankfully, as I said, we were able to pull over. We had a beautiful view of the beach, which made the time pass. We were on the side of the road for 6 hours, and thankfully, at least with the van, we had food, drink, toilet. There was no great urgency for us to go anywhere. We were safe and sound, well clear of the road, parked up, no problem. And the first call that I made was to the NRMA. I'm in the NRMA, I have the ultimate cover. I also paid the additional money for the heavy tow because of the caravan, the weight of the van. And the operator from the NRMA I spoke to there, she was absolutely fantastic. Totally understanding as to our position, trying to work out where we were, being in Victoria. We then got the cross-border reciprocal mutual agreements between NRMA and RACV to deal with. NRMA was great, they took all our details, they escalated it to the premium care team because of the ultimate care deal that I'm on, and because we're interstate. Not a problem, absolute breeze, wonderful lady to deal with. She put us through to the RACV so that they could get better details of where we were. And one thing with my background knowledge, I knew exactly where I was. I was able to tell RACV that we were at beach entrance 113, about 300 metres westbound, heading west. And it might seem minimal, but I can tell you from a call taker, dispatch position, knowing where you are, just taking that extra minute or two to work out exactly where you are before you make these calls saves so much trouble and hassle for everybody. So anyway, RACV, spoke to them, lovely lady there again. In the meantime, I'd started to receive text messages from NRMA updating what was happening. RACV responded there, or not responded, but dispatched their local guy from Lorne. Absolutely fantastic. Got a call from him very soon saying that he was on another job. He was on his way, kept us up to date. Stu, mate, it was great actually. Stu was great to deal with, kept us up to date, as I said. He was getting run off his feet. Obviously there's other people needing assistance. So he turned up, had a look, tightened within moderation, tightened the 3 nuts that were still on there, the studs. Totally agreed, had to be flatbed towed, the van. So he contacted his boss to organise the tow. The boss came out, Stu came back, he had to go do a couple of other jobs. Because of the size of the van, the size of the truck, had to be a little bit bigger to come and tow us. These 2 guys organised that, absolutely fantastic. Knowing local experience, they organised for a mechanic for it to go to. One of the local mechanics up here, I think it's called Dean's Marsh. Doug, I believe his name is. I'm going to be ringing Doug this morning, touching base with him to see about the repairs on the van. Back to the roadside assistance. Once we realised it was going to be a long-term fix, take some time, being on Friday afternoon. Back on the phone to NRMA to organise accommodation, which is part of the subscription, the package I get. They were able to put us up in accommodation here at the Bayview in Lorne. All of that was organised behind the scenes. Text messages and emails came through seamlessly from NRMA again. RACV, again, organised everything. Text messages kept us up to date. Considering we were on the side of the road for 6 hours yesterday, it was probably the most relaxed, hassle-free experience I could have had with all of this. Being on a long trip, it's a little bit stressful thinking, is the trip over? Do we get to continue? Then you start to look at the price of repairs and things, and but all that was eased by these guys, the RACV guys, Stu and his boss. Seamless working with them, they were great. Loaded the van without a hassle, every care for the van and getting it up on the tilt tray and strapping it down, securing it. They took their time, there was no rush, no panic by them. All the care in the world by these guys, absolutely fantastic. And as I say, these misadventures, they are stressful, but these guys just alleviated it all. Arrived here in Lorne about 4:30 yesterday afternoon, checked in with Adam. Adam's looked after us really well, considering we've had to basically empty a caravan out, bring it to a motel room, and he's accommodated us. He's looked after us, pointed us in the right directions for food and washing and everything that we needed to be doing yesterday that couldn't. He's been fantastic. So shout out to Adam at the Bayview as well. So basically, trying to wrap this up. I know I've rambled far long enough now already, but just wrapping all of this up. Look, get to know your vehicles, get to understand what's normal, what's not normal. Pull over as soon as you can. Don't panic. Just take your time, but do it quickly, if that kind of makes sense. Don't ignore it going, I'll check those studs, next stop or something. Because number 4 stud, it was only just hanging on by like half a thread or something. Like, it could have come off, and I only would have had then 2 studs on one side of the wheel hub actually holding that wheel on. Considering you're driving within metres of the actual ocean and cliffs, it could have been a totally different experience yesterday. Totally different. So I'm looking on the bright side that we're safe and sound, car and van are still shiny side up, as they say, and we're accommodated. So, you know, no major damage, no major hassle, just an inconvenience is how we're looking at it. But yeah, get to know your car, look after it, look after your van as well in that. You know, take the time to check it over, touch things, feel things, double check, you know, and yeah, just take care, keep the shiny side up out there. And one recommendation, if you are on the road, and I know it costs money, and I know money's tight, particularly travelling, the NRMA, this ultimate care that I've got, that I pay for, at one point there yesterday, I said to Cass, I said I've been paying for this for 4 years since we got the van, never had to use it. You know, I've often thought about, you know, do I get rid of it? Well, I'm not getting rid of it. It's very much like insurance. It's the only way to look at it. It is insurance. I get the towing, the accommodation, great care. It's worth the investment. So my recommendation is, you know, whatever service you can get that ultimate care, particularly if you're doing long distance. We're not overly remote here, thankfully, but we have been remote and could really do that sort of extra towing distance. Anyway, look, I'm going to wrap it up. Thanks to everybody that has responded to our post yesterday, our photos and videos. Really appreciate all of that. And we'll get the van fixed, hopefully by Monday. We're going to keep exploring. We do have the car, so that's the one saving grace out of it. We're not totally grounded. So everybody, stay safe out there. Have a wonderful weekend. And if you like, let us know where you're camped up this weekend. And if you're in or around Lorne, send us a message. Say hello. Catch you later.